The first thing my Aunt Carol said to me when I walked into the funeral home was, "Oh, look who decided to show up." She didn't say hello. She didn't ask how I was holding up. She just dropped those words like a piece of trash she couldn't wait to toss aside. She immediately turned back to my cousin Michael, whispering in a low voice about the seating arrangements in the front row, as if where people sat mattered more than the man lying in the casket 20 feet away. Before we jump into today's emotional story, drop a 777 in the comments and let us know which city or country you are watching from today. If you love inspiring stories about resilience, family drama, and unexpected karma, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. You definitely will not want to miss the ending of this one. Now, let us rewind back to where this incredible story began. I stood near the back doors in my simple black dress, the only formal outfit I owned, and watched my family move around that room like actors executing a script they had rehearsed for weeks. Nobody looked at me. Nobody offered a hug. My own mother glanced in my direction once, her eyes sliding right past me the way you look past a stranger on the street. My name is Maya. I was 26 years old, working 2 jobs just to cover rent for a small 1-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. My parents, Richard and Diane, lived in a grand house across the city with a 3-car garage and a pristine pool they barely used. My older sister, Jenna, drove a luxury vehicle that cost more than my entire annual salary. I was the poor one in the family, the one who attended community college because I couldn't afford private tuition, the one who worked weekends instead of showing up to family parties, the one who, according to my mother, never quite tried hard enough. But there was one person in my family who never made me feel small. My grandfather, Marcus. Grandpa Marcus built his fortune from nothing. He grew up poor, worked tirelessly in construction, and eventually built a real estate company worth millions. By the time I was born, he was a wealthy man, but he never acted like it. He drove the same pickup truck for 15 years. He wore a simple brown jacket until the elbows wore thin. He didn't care about status or appearances. He cared about people. Every Sunday afternoon, while the rest of my family made excuses about being too busy, I drove 40 minutes to his house and sat with him on the back porch. We drank tea, talked about life, and watched the sunset. He always kept a small black notebook in his shirt pocket, writing down thoughts from time to time. I never asked what he wrote. It felt like his private world, and I respected that. When he fell ill 2 years ago with heart failure, everything changed. He needed constant care, daily medication, and someone to sit with him during long hospital stays. My parents visited twice the entire year. My sister sent a fruit basket. I was there every single week. I drove him to his doctor appointments. I learned how to manage his medications. I sat beside his bed during cold, terrifying nights when he couldn't sleep. I never once thought about what he might leave me. I just didn't want a good man to die alone. "You are the only one who actually shows up, Maya," he told me one evening, his voice trembling as he held my hand. "Others send cards, but you bring your presence." When he passed away on a cold morning in March, his funeral was held at a massive cathedral downtown. My parents insisted on it, not because Grandpa would have wanted it, but because they cared about how it looked to their wealthy associates. I arrived early, but my family was already there, clustered near the front pews, talking in excited tones that felt completely out of place. The lawyer said the reading happens right after the service. I heard my uncle say to my father, "It should be straightforward. Marcus always said the estate stays in the family, which is why we shouldn't have to share it with everyone," my mother replied, glancing toward the back of the church. "Some people think they are entitled to things they had no part in building." She was looking right at me. After the burial, everyone gathered at my parents' house for the reading of the will. The estate attorney, a tall man named Mr. Vance, arrived carrying a thick leather briefcase. As I walked into the hallway, my mother cornered me. "Maya, I think it would be best if you didn't stay for this," she said, her voice sharp and low. "This is a family matter, and frankly, your grandfather's estate isn't going to concern you. There is no need to make things awkward." My sister smirked from across the room. "Yeah, Maya, maybe just wait outside. This isn't really your scene." I felt my face go hot, but a quiet strength kept me rooted to the spot. "I am staying," I said, and I walked past them right into the living room. Mr. Vance opened his briefcase and pulled out a yellowed handwritten letter. "Before we begin," he announced, "Marcus instructed me to read this personal note out loud, exactly as written." The room fell into complete silence. Mr. Vance adjusted his glasses and began, "To my family, If you are hearing this, then I am gone. For most of my life, I built a name and a business. I believed that if I gave my family everything, they would understand what truly matters. I was wrong. Love is not measured in blood. It is measured in presence, in the choice to show up when showing up costs you something. In the last 2 years of my life, I was sick and afraid. Only one person drove 40 minutes every single Sunday to sit with an old man who had nothing left to give her but stories. Mr. Vance looked up from the paper, his eyes meeting mine. That person is my granddaughter, Maya. My mother's mouth opened slightly. My sister's smirk vanished completely. Mr. Vance continued reading. Maya never asked me for a single dollar. She came because she wanted to be there. For that reason, I am leaving the majority of my estate, including my home, my business holdings, and my financial accounts totaling $5 million, to my granddaughter Maya. The number hung in the air like a heavy fog. Nobody breathed. To my remaining children and grandchildren, Mr. Vance Reed, I leave $50,000 each, along with my sincere hope that you use it to reflect on what a real family means. My mother jumped up, her face twisted in rage. This is absurd. He was sick. He was manipulated. We will contest this in court. Mr. Vance looked up calmly. Marcus underwent 2 independent medical evaluations when he made these changes 8 months ago. Both prove he was of completely sound mind. Furthermore, the will includes a strict no-contest clause. Anyone who challenges this in court automatically forfeits their $50,000 entirely. The room collapsed into a suffocating silence. The sound of greed calculating risk against reward was almost deafening. I stood up slowly, looked at the faces of the people who had treated me like an outsider for years, and quietly walked out to my car. I drove straight to Grandpa's house, sat on the back porch, and let tears fall for the man who had seen my true worth when everyone else looked right through me. A few days later, I found his black notebook in his nightstand drawer. Near the back, dated a month before he died, he wrote, Maya sat with me for 3 hours today. She doesn't know I noticed her reading to me while I dozed off. That girl has more heart than this entire family combined. I need to make sure she knows how much she means to me before it is too late. I closed the notebook and held it against my chest. Never measure a person's value by their job, their clothes, or their bank account. Real character is revealed in how you treat people when you think they have nothing left to offer you. Thank you so much for watching today's story. If this message touched your heart, please leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with your loved ones. We will see you in the next story.